And as a high schooler, you don't necessarily always respect your elders, right? But there was something about Jack, and we would call him Coach Faszholz, that just you wanted to earn his respect. He just had that presence about him. And so, I think to a player, we all wanted to do the very best that we could. We all wanted to have him think highly of us. He never really had to raise his voice because, he had such a presence that when he said something, we listened and we did it.
As we got older, he would stay active in baseball. Of course, he was a preacher also. And he also taught at the Lutheran high schools, Lutheran High School Central in St. Louis, Lutheran High School South. And then he went on to Concordia University in Austin, Texas.
When he took the call to Concordia Austin, one of the reasons they called him was he was the athletic director. He could teach health. He had a master's degree in health. He also could teach the religion classes. So he could and he coached the baseball team. So he could tick off a lot of boxes at the school.
He would also tell you that his first and foremost love and commitment was to his faith, and that it was more important for him to be a pastor than it was a baseball player.
When he was playing baseball, because he was drafted in the late 40s and played till 1955.
He pitched with the St. Louis Cardinals here, and his nickname was the Pitchin' Parson. Parson is an English word meaning a pastor, so he was a baseball pitcher. He was a tremendous athlete. He was a big man, and he was a gentle giant. You couldn't find a kinder, sweeter person.
And meanwhile, in the classroom, we all knew he loved his sport, but he was the pastor, and we listened and respected him. He did both jobs very uniquely. You could see a coach being one way and a pastor being one way, but he merged the two together, which is very, very unique.
I mean, you probably remember teachers that affected you, and that was him.
Dad came from a big family, and that was always important to us. Dad's family was not around a lot. They were spread out all over the country, but we did try and see him as much as possible, and we had some very fun trips out to California where Grandma and Grandpa lived. He and Mom were a pretty good team. They were married 65 years, and raising 6 kids. A lot of the young single men knew a lot of the young single nurses. So they went on a blind date, but not with each other. And that's how they met. But they always encouraged us, you know right from wrong, do what you need to do the best you can always do, and, you suffer the consequences either way. If you don't do your best and it doesn't work out, well, you may know why.
So we had a section in PE where we had square dancing class and Virginia Reel, and so anyway, all the girls would your dad is the best dancer, because he would pick them up off the floor and swing them around, and everybody had a good time. He was passionate about teaching. He was passionate about coaching. Set a good example, required you to, think about what you were doing and how it affected others.
I was one of 3 girls in my class. There were 11 in my class. And they didn't have a girls' basketball team. And so he would prod me Tell them that they have to let you play on the boys' team, or they have to do a girls' team. He was an encourager and equitable about his encouragement, and that was a very good lesson for me to learn at that age.
And Jack saw me and he pulled me aside and he said, "Kurt, I see you've been working out. Thank you for that. Thank you for making the most of your ability." And that has always struck with me and kept with me probably, 45 years or so later.
Other teammates would say, "Oh, you're just playing because your dad's the coach. You didn't really earn the spot. You just made it because your father's, calling the shots, and that's why you're going to play." So there was a little bit of pressure, self-imposed, because of that. So we would try extra hard to make sure nobody said that.
But he would not throw a pitch directly at a player. And so that was a confrontation with one of the coaches that he had. And then many years later, it was just like, well, I was a pitcher and he was a catcher. We thought about the game differently. Our strategies were different.
Best athlete, male and female, are given an award named after him. It's a very unique honor, and remember, our culture, our community has a long history. So there are people here whose parents and grandparents knew him. So he still has a memory.
Yeah, and so to get that award, it's I don't say kids are fighting for it, but they recognize if they get it, it's a special thing because he was a special man.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
I think the second lesson that I learned from Jack Faszholz is to never give up. I wasn't the greatest player my junior year, and then my senior year I became a pretty good player, and that's because one, Jack had the confidence in me, and two, he instilled in me the desire to actually work really hard.
He was just a joy to play for, and again, probably didn't realize that when we were growing up, but certainly afterwards. And it's really blessed.
A man came up to me and said, You're Sally, you're Polly's sister, right? And I said, "Yes, I am." "So Jack Faszholz is your dad?" Yeah. And he said, he was my football coach at Lutheran High South, but he taught me not just how to play football, but how to be a Christian man. And I thought that was so telling of my dad's character.
What he led with was, how can I best serve you into helping you become a better person? And that's how I think we all who knew Jack would remember him as, and that's how I would hope everyone would remember Jack Faszholz as. Obviously a great baseball player, but more important, an incredible human being.
If you talk to people that know him, they're going to smile. They're just going to smile.
Nobody's going to have anything bad to say about him.
Yeah, I mean, he just is one of those people that's in your life, and he's not all, showy, but he was quiet, he was strong, you could count on him, he was very reliable.
Being raised by people like that was such a blessing, because we did get to explore a variety of things and options and opportunities in our lives.
One thing I strive to be more like him in that respect is not to judge. It's not my place, so.
Whatever needed to be done was what he did.
At the end, I can't think of anything he could have done better.